with the educated opinion on topics of all varieties. This your boy Bubba, and you already know what I'm about to say, right? You are listening to Bubba's Banter. Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your motherfucking boy. I ain't gotta say no names, right? But I am anyways, it's your boy Bubba, and you are watching and also listening to Bubba's Banter. I hope you guys are living well, feeling well. I am doing okay. Allergy season has been kicking my ass continuously. But I got that good old Zyrtex, on hand, and it's been doing well for me. So I'm very excited about that. So bear with me because I might be breathing a little too hard. I might sneeze. I might cough a lot. But allergy seasons over here has been kicking my ass. And Portland's weather is like we only get fucking summer in like 2 months out of the year in our summer season. We call summer in June fake summer because the weather is all over the place, like sporadically, like earlier this week, it was like mid fucking 70s, almost 80s. And then like today is what, 55, cloudy. Like, so it's just the weather is all over the place over here. And so my allergies are just going crazy. Like feeling like I'm sick, but I'm not sick. It just, yeah, all over the place. So anyways, that's how it goes. So today for this show, I am excited for this show. I've been like working on this for a little bit, and I'm just excited to get this person on here. But before we do all that, make sure y'all subscribe to my good old YouTube channel. Also follow me on my social medias, which is The Real Doc Dre. That's my personal Bubba's Banter podcast, which is my podcast page. And also follow my Facebook page, which is Bubba's Banter. I'm also streaming on multiple streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, stuff like that. But yeah, subscribe to all those, please. This show is hosted by Spotify for podcasters, so please make sure y'all go ahead and click the link tree bio or click the link tree in my description and listen to it on there. But yeah, so y'all already know what I'm about to say, right? I always say it every show. They were designed with the big boy in mind. They was designed with the big boy in mind. Go get these bearskin underwear, y'all, please. If you use my promo code Bubba, you will get 15% off the checkout order. I really, really love these underwear. Summer is upon us, and you should go get the swimwear as well. The swimwear is very, very comfortable, very durable. The way it just relaxes on your skin is very, very good. I would go get a pair from my drawer right now, but it's all the way over there and I'm right here. So not doing that. But shout out to Bearskin. I love Bearskin. I love the owners. They are really cool people. And yeah. Anyways, let's get ready for this show. So today is going to be an interview show. I'm not doing like a regular podcast. It's going to be an interview. And I don't know if y'all saw, the Jubilee's middle ground, fit versus fat. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I saw it. And I have good old Tevin here, and I'm going to bring him in. And yeah, what's up, friend? How you doing?
Pretty good in yourself.
As I said, it's allergy season. Kicking my butt. Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky I can't relate, but I do empathize with you.
So I want to kind of give you a little bit about my show. So pretty much Bubba's Banter is a podcast where I banter on topics of all varieties as far as like, entertainment stuff. And then I kind of get personal in my banter banquet segment of the show where I just talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But today we're going to do an interview. I love the Jubilee, but before we get into that, we get into Jubilee. I want to talk about Tevin. Like, I want to know who Tevin is. Like, what inspired you to become a model? Like, how'd you get started in the industry of that?
So being a model wasn't like my thing. It wasn't what I wanted to be. Somehow down the line, it became something that I found that I was good at. through other people seeing me in that light.
Yeah.
And it became something that felt empowering to me, and became a catalyst for other people feeling empowered and inspired to, do similar things, or to just like go out and be themselves, and to wear the things that they desire to wear, or just to dress better in general.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I'll say that like I've been very blessed for the opportunities that I've had in comparison to other models and stuff like that. Um, my portfolio is quite small,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm blessed to say that like quality over quantity, the things that are within my portfolio are like amazing things, amazing opportunities that I've had, that like, thinking about the fact that I'm 5'7", I'm fat. I may not be the most palatable person when people think of a model and stuff like that. But to think of the places that my images have been, the publications that my images have been in, just the photographers that I've worked with, the work that's been created with these people, I'm immensely proud of it.
That's cool. Um, so every industry has its difficulties. um, I want to know, were there any challenges as a plus size model or a bigger guy model, as a model of your stature? Let's say that.
Oh, for sure, there's a ton.
Yeah.
Um, Between not being tall enough, not being masculine enough. Um, what else? Sometimes it feels like maybe they don't think that I'm like, black enough,
Yeah.
that I can't do things for urban brands. Maybe, you know, people look at the work that I've done and I always get like, oh my God, your work is so beautiful. We love this, we love that. But you're just not the right fit. And I have to eat that, right? I have to take it
Yeah.
and just eat it, because it's like, well, who am I to tell you no, right? It's your
Right.
show, it's your vision, it's your brand, it's your publication. All I can do is sit here and be myself and let you know what I bring to the table, and that's versatility.
Yeah.
But not everybody sees it like that, and I'm learning to be okay with it. Um, I mean, I know that for a fact I am my own competition. The only thing I strive to do is to show up on set and be better than I was the last show, or the last, well, not show, but the last photo shoot, the last casting. Just to show up for myself, and to, show myself up is always important to me.
Okay. Okay. Um, Looking at the broader picture of um plus size modeling, like, how do you feel like the industry looks at plus size modeling now? Like, do you see it out there more often? Do you, you know, things like that?
I feel like the industry is shooting shots of Ozempic up everyone's ass, and body positivity, or body diversity, fat liberation. All of that has kind of really gone out the window. I went into American Eagle yesterday, which, I mean, ever so often, if I'm in Soho, I'll stop back at that store because I used to work there. And it's just like a reminder of like where I was and where I'm going. Um, And so I was walking through and I was just like reminiscing on the different rooms that I used to work in the store, and like just it feels like walking through there now versus what it was like when I was working there. And I was like looking around at the signage and like stuff, and I'm like, there's not one plus size body up on these walls. And a few years ago, you guys were pushing to have that representation there.
Yeah.
You guys, so much so that they faced, backlash for featuring another one of my peers, my friend Kelvin, in their Airy Man campaign, and it turned out to be an April Fool's joke that they never told the models that it would be.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so it's like you guys have made this whole thing about like, you're pushing for, a range of people to be represented. And I walk into your store and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody looks the same, everybody's thin, everybody is one thing. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being thin. What I am saying that it is wrong to not represent bodies.
Right.
Um, already you guys don't carry extended sizes within your store, even though you guys are a flagship and you have international customers where shipping is probably not the thing that they want to do because then there's no way for them to return the item if it
Right.
doesn't fit. Um, I just think that it's like complete bullshit. Um, and while like I mean I've definitely touched upon this that like I'm on a fitness journey and just trying to like figure out like things for my body and what that looks like for me.
Hmm.
I will say that like yeah, I still want to see people that look like me in these spaces.
Exactly.
Whether I'm big, whether I'm small, whether I'm muscular, whatever my body is going to shape out to be at like when I feel like I've reached a goal, I've reached a point in where I feel comfortable with how my body looks, you know, I still want to see people represented in the light that they deserve to be represented in.
Right. Right. Speaking of Ozempic, reflecting on those recent trends, like what shifts have you saw within the fashion world when it comes to body diversity? Like, is there any positive things that you've saw thus far as far as body positivity?
Is body positivity in the room now? Is she here with us?
Nope. I agree with you, Fred. But I just had to ask that because, not to interject, but like I've had this experience a lot when I go into stores, and I always like I love. I mean, I've lost weight recently. I'm kind of a fitness hit myself, but I'm still a bigger guy, and so when I go
Yeah.
into stores looking for things, nothing fits sometimes, and sometimes I'll go to like the bigger guy store, nothing fits because I'm not that big or tall. So I'm like, where do I fit in as far as wanting to look good and to feel good?
You
So
don't. They made it very clear that you don't. Like there's no place for you. And especially if you're a bigger guy who has any like sense of style, then you
yeah,
also know that the store is dedicated to bigger guys. It's the same nonsense that they do with plus size women's clothes. Nothing
mm,
is desirable.
nothing like
Like,
Coach Dad clothes. Shit.
thank you, thank you. Why do I look like I'm about to go coach a little league, football game right now? Or why does it look like I'm gonna go play golf with like a 90-year-old grandpa?
Yeah,
Like, why can't I have something that's like fun and stylish too? It's really, really ridiculous. And I think the big marker for me was when I went into Macy's, which Macy's had been somewhere where you could, probably go and find some big and tall stuff from like, maybe Ralph Lauren or Tommy Hilfiger or something like that. They've removed all of their big and tall clothing from in store. It's only available online.
and that's what I don't like. I don't like shopping online. I mean, I'll buy some stuff online. I just feel like I like to feel the material before I put it on.
I just want to fucking try on clothes. It's nothing crazy. I want to be able to try on clothes. I want to be able to like what I'm putting on my body, and I want to walk out of the store with it in a bag that is in my hands.
Exactly.
Is
It's
that
a,
a revolutionary idea? Did I just do something? Did I just solve a problem? Because what is that? What is that?
I don't understand it
What
myself.
is that?
I don't get it either. I just a part of me feels like it's it really is that they don't value bigger people in a sense. It's like I feel what people don't realize that every person who works out has a different journey. I'm not going to lose weight rapidly, quickly, and fast to fit clothes. That's just not idealistic in any realm. Um, and I think people have to understand that every bigger person has different proportions of their bodies. Some of us have fucking big ass man boobs. Our shirts don't fit the right way. Some of us, our stomach is big, and our stomach, the shirt won't fit around our stomach a certain way. I'm not saying we have to modify everything for us as bigger guys, but like have some sense of like the person you're like selling things to. Like every person that's coming to your store is not looking
To go fishing.
to go fishing. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, um, what impact do you hope to have as a representative and a model in the bigger body industry of fitness or not fitness, fashion?
I think the biggest impact that I would hope to have, and this is going to sound a bit selfish, um, working in Soho and working at American Eagle where I worked, there's a very iconic billboard in New York City, Soho area, and that's the Calvin Klein billboard.
Yeah.
And passing that billboard, I mean, I've always loved Calvin Klein ads.
Yeah.
And then when I started modeling, the possibility of being a part of that became a reality to me that, like, maybe, just maybe, or not maybe, let me speak intentionally about it. Someday, whenever that day is, I will have done enough work and I will have done enough quality work that the casting directors who work for Calvin Klein will see me. And when I say see me, I don't mean just like see images of me and think, wow, cool. No, see me, like the person that I am, the work that I'm doing, and say to themselves, this is someone that we want to represent our brand. This is someone that we want up on that billboard because they not only present themselves in a beautiful way, but they are also, working hard, and they're pushing for visibility of people who oftentimes are not visible. They are, battling different things and doing it with, heart and, you know, keeping composure and being poised in everything that they do. Views the world with a respectful outlook and things like that. I mean, I do make my mistakes, and sometimes I do um, react negatively towards things, but I definitely try to check myself before somebody else has to check me for that, you know. And so that's the impact that I want to have. I want to have that impact that another person that looks like me, a kid that is reading through GQ magazine like I did as a child, will open up that magazine and see me
Yeah.
in all my glory, you know, posted up and just feel like, well, damn,
I got this. Yeah.
you know.
All right. So let's get into these good old Jubilee questions. Okay. So shifting gears to Jubilee, how did you become participated in Middle Ground episode Fit versus Fat?
Okay. Um, Flex, they reached out to me and asked me to participate in the episode. They gave me a synopsis about what it would be about. I, expressed that I would be interested in doing it, and then they set up a call with me.
Oh,
And the person that I spoke to, I mean, they were absolutely smitten with me. We just had a normal conversation. It wasn't even about really asking a lot of questions about what the episode would be about or anything like that. But she just wanted to have a genuine conversation with me. Um, and by the end of it, she was just like, "Oh my God, like I know for sure I I want to have you on the episode. Like obviously I have to talk with the producers, but I think you'd be a great fit. Like I really just something about you, I really love it, and I'm gonna push to have you on the episode. Will you need flight or accommodations to be able to be on the episode because we do film in LA?" And I was just like, if you guys can help with flight, you know, expenses, that would be amazing. I could figure out where I'm staying easily. And she was just like, that's no problem. I'm going to talk to the producers. I'm pretty sure they're going to, agree with me on having you on the episode. But yeah, and
that's
that was pretty much it.
that's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
So, can you take us behind scenes? Like, what was your experience filming on there? Like, what was it like?
Okay. I wasn't nervous about anything because, like, it's not my first time being on camera and just being filmed for something sort of this nature. I've done work for MTV, I've done work for the Everyman Project and things like that. And you know, I guess I've gotten my media training firsthand just by being thrust into it and having to do it and just rising to the occasion. And I'm thankful for that, and I guess part of it has to do also with how my parents raised me to speak eloquently, to always be cautious of how I approach things because my right can easily become my wrong depending on how I react to a situation. So
Yeah.
I always keep that in mind, even when something's becoming frustrating for me, to just always keep in the back of my mind that, my words, my thoughts, my actions can always be used against me.
Right.
So, um, going into it, I didn't know anybody else that was going to be on set that day. I walked in and I was pleasantly surprised to see my friend Zach Miko there. And so that was just like, a little slice of home for me, which
Right.
immediately also made me feel that much more comfortable because I just like not knowing what's going to happen and having seen some Jubilee episodes before, that things can get a bit heated. So just knowing that like I'd have someone who's on my side that like hopefully I'd be able to bounce off of, him and we bounce off of each other was really, really nice. And then there's one other person that I was familiar with. We're not friends or anything like that, but I was familiar with because I had followed him on social media, was Eric Janicki. So it was cool to walk in and see him there too, because it was just like, well, I guess we'll have the opportunity to pick each other's brains to a certain degree.
Yeah. Um. So, from the conversation you had, were there any like key takeaways, insights that you gained from other participants?
Some of the insight that I gained was, while the other side, there was this like connotation that all fat people do is abuse their bodies, and
Yeah.
we just make a conscious effort to be unhealthy and things like that, which is further from the truth. I mean, yes, there is a community of people who their intentions are to just become bigger, to gain weight and things like that, and that's a very small sector of plus size people. There's plus size people who, their weight is something that is not manageable on their own, unfortunately, no matter how hard they try. And then there's plus size people who deal with eating disorders, whether that be anorexia, whether that be bulimia, whether that be binge eating, and or a combination of those things. because for myself, like I spoke about having an eating disorder and things that I battle with mentally, like there are days where I struggle with eating. And it's not because I don't want to, I just feel like if I eat, there's consequences,
Right.
you know. If I eat too much, and it's not to say like it's unhealthy things, but if I in general eat too much, then like I'm entering that negative like mindset again of like binge eating and stuff like that. And so my relationship with food is a very nuanced one. And this is something that I've never really talked to my parents about either. Like this is something that I've like just pretty much dealt with on my own because it's
Mhm.
kind of like I'm a fat kid who is dealing with an eating disorder that typically you would think would make me like skinny and stick
Yeah.
thin and things like that. And it's not the same for me. And then I also have a thyroid issue, which my doctor was just like, well, part of, and I believe it's hypothyroidism, that when you eat, your body like leeches onto like everything.
Yeah.
And it's like because your body thinks that you're not nourishing it. Um, so imagine like dealing with that and then finding out that your body is just like, oh, you're eating? Let's hold on to everything.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of jarring, and then it kind of makes sense why like weight is something that I'm struggling with too. I mean, I want to find a healthier way of living in like total, not just changing my eating habits and going to the gym, but also like better managing like what that is and better managing mentally my relationship with food because like even like when I was working with my trainer, which unfortunately um I'm not working with him right now. I don't know if I'll be able to work again with him in the future anytime soon because of like just everyday things and finances and stuff like that. But like I remember him like I would have to have 6 eggs in the beginning, like of the day, my oatmeal,
Yep.
yogurt, and blueberries. And like that was a struggle for me because that's like so much food early in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck? And then I'm just like, oh my God, like I cannot eat this. Like I'm really struggling to eat all of this. And it's not like I don't like that food. I love that stuff. It's so good. But I'm just like, oh my God, like this is too much. And I remember like being like, do I have to eat all of it? And he's just like, do you want to see results? Like, tell me now, like, do you want to see results? Like I'm giving you something to follow that I know will work. So you have a decision to make. I was just like, okay, well, I'll find some way of doing it. And so what I started doing was just like, okay, I'd finish one thing, and then I'd let some time pass by, and then like finish the other thing, let some time pass by, and just eating it in increments, and just like trying to tell myself like you don't have to eat it all in one sitting and things like that. Um, so now, I mean, that's starting to help me with how I eat just like staying and like pecking at things and then coming back to it and doing that and staggering it. That's helping me because then I also don't feel like I just stuffed my face and now I want to like, purge or I want to, just like beat myself up for it. But there are,
I
huh?
wanted to say just to give you a tip for me, this helps me out because I had to deal with that same thing. Was blending everything became my friend. Like I would so in the morning I would have 2 scoops of protein with just water, no milk or anything, just water, and a half a cup of berries or a cup of berries and a half a cup of oatmeal, and I would just blend all that shit, and I would just sip on it, drink it. That's
You're
like,
probably gonna laugh at me. I think that like berries and stuff in my oatmeal, disgusting. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. I literally in my oatmeal, peanut butter, cinnamon, nutmeg, sugar, or honey.
okay, that's good though. That's good too.
Yeah. Berries though, nah.
Strawberries.
Or like with my yogurt, nah, I'm having the yogurt by itself and I'm eating the blueberries by themselves. I just think like I don't even like milk like that. So
Yeah,
like
I kind of grew out of milk, unless it's milk and cookies. That's the only way.
I'm not even doing milk and cookies. If
Really?
I'm doing milk and cookies, it's ice cream.
Okay. That makes sense too, though.
Yeah.
Milk's kinda nasty though. I
Or
will.
like people that like strawberry ice cream, I'm like, nope, nasty.
I don't like strawberry ice cream either.
It's gross. It's
It's,
kind of sour.
yeah. Anyways, so were there any points of views presented by the other side that you found surprising or like particularly like enlightening? Like, oh, I didn't know that, type of thing.
Yeah, I did. When they opened up with fat bodies being gross.
Yeah, that was
I was just like, hold on a second.
yeah.
And I'm not on camera at that point, but like, I'm literally like, if somebody had to like, catch the faces that I was making off camera, that on its like own, like that would have been a viral clip on its
Yeah.
own. Because unfortunately, my faces might tell. People talk and I make faces, and I try to have a better poker face, but sometimes the bullshit is just really bullshitting, and I can't contain it.
All right.
And that's what was happening. Another thing was just like the justification of the use of PEDs or steroids, because
Yeah.
let's call them what they are. PEDs feels like desensitizing the word steroid, and it
It
just
is.
needs to be called what it is, because as they said themselves, it's also a form of bodily abuse. So I was also, taken aback by their justification of the use of steroids versus a bigger person just talking about like, yeah, I eat certain things and my body just kind of does what it does.
Yeah.
Or, the gym doesn't always feel like a friendly place for me. And it's crazy. It's so flipping crazy, because there's a guy that I follow on Insta, which I think that his content is great. He's also a designer, but he like posts about his workouts and stuff like that. And he talks about the fact that he used to be skinny and
Yeah.
that he didn't like that, and that he's like working hard to put on weight, and how, like, it's been a bit of a struggle, but this is what he's doing. His name is Kendra White. Um, I guess some people might find him a little bit controversial in his views and things like that, and I'm not going to get into his stuff like that. But like, I've talked to him about a lot of stuff, and I think that he's absolutely an amazing person. And I think that sometimes it just takes a matter of like talking to someone, and
Yeah.
like you guys might not agree on everything, but there's a lot of stuff that we've spoken about that I'm like, yeah, like I see a lot of value in your opinion on stuff, even if I don't agree with it. It kind of just opens my eye up to something new that I may not have seen before.
All right.
Um, and something that like resonated with me was him talking about like when you go to the gym and there's that guy that like beefs with you for no reason.
Yeah. Yes.
And I thought that maybe like I was imagining that kind of stuff.
No.
I thought that maybe when I was going to the gym and I was like getting those dirty looks, that was just me being insecure. until I went to another gym and I was just like, wait, I can go to the gym and be completely comfortable in the environment. I can go to the gym and get my life and get these sets done without feeling like there's anybody over my shoulder trying to rush me. I
Yep.
can walk into the gym and go use equipment, and there is not a huddle of guys that when you say, hey, how many reps do you have left, kind of turn and look at you like, oh,
Yeah.
like, come on. I can go to a gym and feel comfortable in it and feel like it is my house.
Mm.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? But guys on the other side of that conversation would have you believe that the gym is just this easy, great place to navigate, but it's easy for you
Mm.
because you look like the typical person that spends all of their time in the gym.
All right.
I
And they
don't
think
look like that person, but I'm actively working to get to the place where I may not look like you, but I look comfortable for what I want in my life.
all right.
I look healthy for what I want in my life. And so when people create this toxic environment in these places, how the hell do you think somebody is supposed to walk in and feel like they can get to being their best version of their self if the environment for them to be able to do that is being gatekept?
I, yeah. Yeah. You
And
hit
so
the
in that conversation with those guys, I felt like I was back at square one. I felt like I was back at square one where you're kind of facing like that gym bully, like that person that's just like shitting on you for no reason. We'll call him Voldemort, he who shall not be named because
all
I'm not
right. We're not talking about
platforming not
yeah.
platforming that kind of behavior, but to say the things that came out of his mouth, to do the things that he did, and to then have his minions like coming down my page and talking about, oh, he shamed you into doing this, and you know,
I saw that.
clearly his words have been working and stuff like that. Well, date check the content, baby. That's number one. And number two, get the fuck off my page.
Yeah.
Like, excuse my language if this is not a platform where I should be cursing on.
You can cuss, you can say whatever you want, you can do it
Okay,
all.
hop off my motherfucking dick. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Like, you want to taste me that bad that you left that YouTube video to come find where I am, to come and try and bully me into something? That means that you heard nothing that I said on that video because I clearly said that those type of tactics do not work. What they do is put people in a corner where they feel like they are not able to function the way that they need to function.
Yeah.
And so you're fucking with them. And that's what's happened.
I agree.
And I feel a bit of anger about that because why would I let these idiots' voices get in my head, right?
Yeah.
Like the last time I went to the gym, I really was in there and I called my friend and I was like, yo, T, I'm really struggling right now. We had just left this summit for National Eating Disorder Action Day, right?
Yeah.
And here I am in the gym thinking to myself, and mind you, I didn't eat anything bad, but I was thinking to myself, I should not have eaten that food. I should have just left the dessert alone. And it was just a small piece of key lime cheesecake. It wasn't anything big or anything like that, but I was like thinking to myself, I should not have eaten that.
Yeah. I know the struggle.
And I'm just like, why am I doing that to myself? Like that's not fair to me. It's not fair to the work that I've been putting in.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
And
Uh,
so I feel like while there's so many positives that have come out of that video, um, there are some negatives that I've had to deal with on my own because um some of the stuff that's been said to me in posts, I feel like I'm that kid in high school again that is like struggling to like find his way and to, do and be the thing that his teacher wants him to be.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so I'm grasping at straws. And then when those straws no longer feel like they're within reach, I'm kind of like recessing. And then as I begin to recess, I begin to spiral again.
Yeah. I was
Um,
gonna ask you about that next. Was like how how do you deal with the negative comments and feedbacks? Because I mean, I've been since then, like I followed you and I was like, I started reading your comments and then the Jubilee comments that I was reading. I was just like, this is uncalled for. Like,
yeah,
so
I stopped reading the comment section because I was just like, yeah, of course, there's always going to be negative feedback.
all right.
But the difference is feedback versus backlash and death threats and,
Oh,
blatant bullying. And then to report things and to then have Instagram be like, oh, we don't see any problem with this. We don't, we're not going to remove the account. We're not going to remove the comments, but, we want to help you. So you can block or restrict the person. And it's like, cool,
yeah,
I have. And then, three more pop up and then more pop up because what do? They tell their friends or they do whatever it is that they do. Um, and I'm just like, okay, like, am I not supposed to be afforded like something, am I not supposed to just be able to enjoy the use of social media and sharing what it is that I do? And then one of my friends was just like, you're not doing the right thing if you're not receiving these types of messages. You've reached the upper echelon when you start to receive that type of backlash and stuff like that.
yeah,
And so while I'm trying to see it that way, it's like also like a bit of a process. Like I'm processing it. I'm like, it's happening. Okay. Just reminding myself it's engagement. They're watching what I'm doing. Obviously, it's showing up on people's explore pages and things like that, which means that for every person that has a negative reaction to it, hopefully there's four or five that have a positive reaction towards it and it feeds them in some way that they see joy instead of, bullshit.
yeah. Um, Reflecting on this again, is there any discussion after that and like enhanced your view on like any topics that was covered? Like, is there any positives? Like, did anyone shock you? That's what I should ask before. Yeah, let me ask that. Did anyone shock you? Like their perception, like certain things that they said besides the crazy person? I'm not gonna say his name. We're not gonna give him no.
No,
Yeah,
no. I think a lot of things felt very surface level
yeah,
when it came to the other side.
yeah,
I think that the guys on my side of the conversation, there's a vulnerability
yeah.
for a lot of us
I
to
felt that
speak
way too.
about things because I felt like the other guys felt like it was like us against them.
That was the vibe. The whole show to me, I felt like there was a. It literally was a us against them type of vibe. Um, I
And like that's not what it was. It
yeah,
was just learning about another reality that's not your own.
yeah,
And that's how I viewed it. And I wanted to know. And like I think that they were shocked when I asked Eric if he was using,
yeah,
steroids. And Greg was kind of just like, whoa, like that's not a compliment. That's actually kind of like not cool
And he's
That's like saying to someone that you can't get to your size without, enhancements. But it was true.
but it was true. Like,
It was true.
yeah.
And um I I want to say, like, okay, cool. Thank you, Eric, for choosing to, be honest about it, to not lie about it, and to not take offense to it, because that wasn't my intention at all. But I genuinely wanted to know. Something that I also knew about Eric is that he had gotten some backlash in the past for some of his videos because apparently his videographer was digitally enhancing his body.
Yep. I've been following Eric
Um,
for a long time. So yeah, I kind of know a lot about the dude just from his
and
Instagram.
then he said that he didn't know about it, but like, even when someone puts out content that I'm featured in, I pretty much have approval over everything.
Yeah.
So you had to have approved it, and it meant that you liked what you saw. So for somebody who's in a plus size body who might be facing body dysmorphia, who might be facing eating disorders, who might be hating themselves in their body, or who, on the flip side of that, might be trying to just learn to love themselves in their body and make positive changes to their body and needs people to feed into them positively, right?
Right.
Then there's someone like Eric who's looking at, a digitally enhanced version of themselves, which is not their reality, and liking that.
Yeah.
And it's just the other side of that dangerous coin. Because now what are you going to do to try to reach what you saw in that video of yourself? That wasn't a reality. And we're
Right.
seeing it now. He's using steroids. Or you see it with me that I, you know, retorted to an eating disorder
Yeah.
to attain something that I felt was unattainable.
Yeah.
So no matter what way you put it, people can be like, "Oh yeah, like I don't abuse my body. You know, everything I do is healthy." There's all sorts of like abuse to people's body. Like I had one of my friends tell me, I'm not going to talk about it, but they told me something last night, and I was just like thinking to myself, like, is that okay? Like, is that healthy? Like, I get that you want to lose a certain amount of weight by next week, but like, is that really okay?
Uh,
What's the lasting effect of that?
yeah. Last question, and this was the one for me. It was which was intriguing because it's similar to what um I kind of had experienced one time when I went to a test shoot. Um, but in the episode, you touched on how you've built your body around like your brand, you know, and that you had this somewhat of a fear that you're not going to get certain gigs or certain deals if you lose too much weight. I kind of wanted you to like kind of dig deeper into that, or just elaborate more about that, when it comes to your career choices and things of that sort.
So as a model, like, I mean, routinely you hear it, and working as a stylist too, that models are just mannequins or
Yeah.
walking hangers. Um, and then for me, a lot of the work that I've done hasn't always been like typically fashion based. It's been artistic and things like that,
Yeah.
or sometimes nude. And so then the focus is really on my body. It's not even like what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
So that's the flip side of it, right?
Right.
When you're looking at images of yourself that are so heavily focused on your body and what your body looks like, and my body in its current state is what's booking me those jobs, right?
Right.
Because clearly you guys want me to move around and to have my body doing what my body does just naturally, right?
Yeah.
Will you still have that same interest in me if I'm like 4 sizes smaller? Will you still have that same interest in me when, I'm in a smaller body that I feel like I can do so much more with, and I'm even more confident in, will you still view me and be like, yeah, we want him?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then I think to myself too, then like what if I'm able to like book like clothing ads and things like that, right? And that would be amazing. That would be a dream.
Yeah.
What if I'm able to do those things? But then that's not guaranteed either, right? I mean, even with this, it's not guaranteed, but I seem to be booking more. I seem to be doing more like
Yeah.
this. But then I'm also at a point where I'm just like, I need to take for myself what I want.
All right.
It's not fair to me to just think about the what ifs. Maybe it's time to just think of the and what. I lost this weight, I'm smaller, and what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I lost this weight and, stacked my skill set up, and what?
Yeah.
So you see me and I'm not the big person that I was a year or two ago, and what?
All right.
Maybe
All
I
right.
should do it
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I had a really I've been wanting to model for a while. Me and my friend would go out and do shoots and stuff, but I landed this ambassador thing with Bearskin underwear company, and I've done a few shoots with them, and it's always fun. And then I kind of put myself out there, and I ended up getting a test shoot with this company, and so I went in, took shots and stuff, and it was fun. They liked me and stuff. Asked for my Instagram. They was really digging me. Took my Instagram down, all this shit. And then I was just like waiting to get a call or whatever, and then um one of the guys texted me, or he called me and was like, "Hey, like, I just want you to know that, we really liked your shoot and stuff, and the photos were great, but one of the biggest things is like this is a body positive like type of movement that we're trying to go for, and that my producer just feels like, or one of the producers just doesn't feel like you're fit for this because you're a power lifter, and that you're into powerlifting, and you seem like you're trying to lose. Like what you're trying to do is what we're not interested in. And I feel that if the people who are buying our stuff sees you on our ads, they're gonna think that you know that's what we're promoting, and that's and it's fine that what you're doing is fine, but it's just something that we don't
I
want.
don't understand this thing about body positivity having to be fat.
Yes, that.
I don't get that. I don't understand that. And that is so dangerous.
Yeah,
It's so flipping dangerous. And that's the type of nonsense that I'm talking about when I say that. That
yeah,
is part of my thought process because that has happened to me as well.
yeah,
I also had another influencer who I'm no longer friends with because they said that my desire to lose weight is one that's triggering to him and his followers.
yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm like, for me, it did put like a little dent in my like wanting to model thing. And then my friend was talking to me, matter of fact, last week, and she was like, "For what? Like, do what you want to do. Like, you have the chance to get up and do it. Go out and just take photos. Like, hire somebody. Like, get yourself out there if that's what you really want to do. Like,
I
don't let
mean, yes, she's
time.
not wrong. I say
Yeah,
it all the time, create the content that you want to see.
yeah. So yeah, that's what I wanted, and that was one of the one things that you said on the show that I was just like, oh, I gotta talk to him because this right here is something I experienced, and I didn't think anybody else experienced that before. So
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm really upset that that's something that you had to deal with.
yeah, and it was like first like test gig, like big. It was like a brand for this clothing line I really love wearing, And I was pissed. Oh, I was so pissed. Like, and I was about to get on Instagram and do all this, like, exposing shit. And I was like, don't do that, because then that's going to hurt you in the long run. So just think smarter about it and just whatever. Like, fuck it. So, but yes, I'm so happy that we got to do this show. I'm very, very excited, even with all the technical difficulties, like, which, I don't care. Editing is my thing, but I also hate it because there's times where, like, when me and my friend, we had like a hour and 20-minute episode, and I had to go through and edit all that shit. And
look, I get your pain 100%. I also do not like to listen to the sound of my voice.
Oh.
So when I go back in and I have to edit, I'm literally about to ask my friend if she can edit some stuff for me for my podcast, because I'm just like, I don't want to listen to it. Like, if I gotta pay you, yeah, if I gotta pay you, if I gotta do something, let me know. Just if we can get those episodes edited by August, that would be great.
All right. So you want to shout out anything? You want to put anything into the universe?
I want to put this out into the universe. Casting directors at Calvin Klein, if by the grace of God you see this and you are listening, just know that there is a I want to say 22 or 23. There's a 23-year-old guy who saw that billboard in Soho and dreamt that he too could someday be on that billboard, and would like nothing more for that to happen. That would be the pinnacle of my success. That would be my piece de resistance. That would be the thing that lets me know that everything that I've been working towards has been validated. Okay. And it might not seem like a big thing to others, but it is a big thing to me to be able to see myself in that light.
That's dope. Well, you guys know what to do for me, right? I gotta hit me up on social media. Please make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, which is Bubba's Banter Podcast. The Real Doc Dre, which is my personal, and then follow me on Facebook, Bubba's Banter. I'm currently working on my website. It's taking me a long time. I know I said that last season, but website work, me doing this all by myself is just really hard. So I may need to just like hire somebody, stop being a one-man band, just like hire.
You gotta get on Canva and stop playing games.
Yeah. I got a lot of stuff going on right now. So, but yeah. You want to have people shout out your socials? You want to?
Oh yeah. If you guys don't know who I am yet, follow me at Fat Chuck Bass. That's FATCHUCKBASS. Fat Chuck Bass. That's on Insta. If you guys want to reach out to me via email or anything like that, it's going to be fatchuckbass@gmail.com. And yeah.
All right. All right. So y'all already know. I'll see y'all when the show drop. Peace.
Later, y'all.